it's us today, three of us. Cool. So if you have any props, if you feel like you're going to need any props for today's practice, get them. Again, yin yoga practice usually can be done with or without props. It depends on the person, but if you feel like you would like to use them for some poses, please get them. Today I have a couple of readings from Eckhart Tolle. Again, I would like to read from The Power of Now. And before we start, I just wanted to talk a little bit about this now concept, because I went to the shala yesterday and I was talking with my teacher, and I've probably been saying this to other people, but I feel like it's almost the end of the year and I don't feel like I've lived 1 year. I don't know about you guys. I think for a lot of us, especially like Gabby, those of us who are in lockdown, because we haven't been really in full-on lockdown here in Tokyo. We are just in work from home mode, but not lockdown. But for me, I feel like I am stuck in March. Like we started working from home in March, and my mind is stuck in March, and my body has somehow found itself almost in September. And there's a huge gap there. And sometimes I go outside and I can't believe that it's almost the end of the summer because I don't feel like I have been there. It's a very weird sensation that I had never had before. Like it happens sometimes, like it should be, I don't know, it's a Friday and you feel like it's a Thursday, but then you miss only one day. But I feel like I've missed a lot of months, and I don't know if it has been the case for me personally. I try to focus on the now and to be here, but as human beings, we are used to a life where we plan for the future and we make all these plans and we are going to go here and there and we're going to do all these things that have fallen through, and we are not able to do many of them anymore. And instead of, okay, we cannot do all those things, let's live here now, we keep dwelling on them and we keep thinking, if only I could go wherever, or if only I could do this other thing. And again, we are not living here. We are living in, when this pandemic is over, I'm going to do all these things. And it shows in things like, because I'm home, for example, for me, I have a garden and I don't go out to the garden. I sit here in my computer all day and I am not here. So you too, you have the opportunity and you take it so much for granted, and instead we focus on all the other things that we cannot do, right? So I wanted to keep that in mind a little bit today through the practice of Yin Yoga, because it is a practice that brings us through the present moment and also allows us to observe the thinker, the thoughts, from another perspective of awareness. Because when you are lost in your thoughts, you kind of tend to identify with them, you become your thoughts. But when you start to observe them come and go, you are something else, right? You're not your thoughts. You are the awareness that is watching the thoughts come and go. And when you realize that, you start to wonder, who am I? And what am I? And where are these thoughts taking me? Is everything actually happening inside of my head and not here? Am I here? Am I not? And maybe keep that in mind and in your body through the practice of Yin Yoga. Every time that we come back to the breath, every time you find your thoughts going places, because I know it happens. Sometimes you're in a pose and the head goes somewhere, and then I tell you to come out of the pose, and it's almost as a moment where, oh, I was actually doing this pose, but I wasn't here, right? It's kind of like a kind of moment. So yeah, food for thought for today. Keep that in mind. I'll do a couple readings as we have been doing as of lately. And let's start in child pose today. So we'll come on the mat. And let's take a wide leg child pose. Can you guys still hear me okay? Thumbs up? Yes. So let's take a wide leg child pose. The knees come about mat width apart. And we sit all the way down on the heels. If we want, we can add a blanket or a block or a cushion underneath the hips, on top of the heels. Otherwise, sit directly on the heels and extend the body forward, bringing the forehead to the mat or on a prop. And there's no need to push too hard or to go too far. You can actually relax the arms. We begin to bring all of that awareness towards the breath, deepening the breath. And beginning to create that space for our yoga practice. Feeling any sensations that arise in the body. And beginning to find a hint of surrender. And if you find that it's hard in the beginning to stay focused on the breath, you can actually name it. For every inhale, I'm breathing in. For every exhale, I'm breathing out. And sometimes it helps a little bit to actually add words that feel a little bit more tangible than the breath itself. And let's bring the hands on the mat. And slowly come, push yourself up into all fours. Maybe bring the knees in right underneath the hips, tabletop position, and let's take just a couple cat and cows, very gentle, no need to force. Inhale, opening the heart. Exhale, lifting the navel up towards the spine. One more inhale, open the heart. Exhale, lift the navel towards the spine. Come to neutral, and from here we will lay down on our belly and prepare for Sphinx Pose. So laying on the belly, bring your forearms on the mat, making sure we keep the elbows right underneath the shoulders. If this is too much for you, you can bring the hands slightly forward, that's fine. And the legs can be either completely together. If this causes too much compression, pain, or numbness in the lower back, then you can separate the legs about shoulder width apart. Once here, maybe take a moment to drop the shoulders, to gently draw the shoulder blades towards each other. And drop the back of the heart towards the mat. Relax the legs. Relax the glutes. And relax the neck. You can look in front of you on the mat. And with every inhale, maybe you feel your belly gently pushing against the mat. Navel coming back in with the exhale. Coming back to the breath. Coming back to the present moment. Staying aware of the sensations in the body. Observing any thoughts, any reactions that arise. Watch them happen and let them go. Check with your body for any tension in the legs, the glutes. Check for tension in the shoulders, in the jaw. Give yourself permission to relax in the pose. If it ever becomes too much, you can always release it. Now you can choose to stay here in your Sphinx, or if you want to deepen the pose a little bit, we can push on the hands and leave the chest slightly off the mat, and maybe reposition the hands a little bit so the fingers are slightly facing outwards. And you can play a little bit with the distance between the hands and your body, as long as you're not forcing your body too much. Elbows should stay stretched, so if you feel that you need to bend the elbows, maybe walk the hands slightly forward and drop the hips heavily on the mat. Shoulders away from the ears. Think of the arms really as just pillars that are supporting your body in this position. So they shouldn't be too active. There shouldn't be too much effort required to stay here. If it's too much, if you feel you're clenching, then you can go back to the Sphinx pose. Stay mindful of your shoulder blades and stay mindful of the breath. You can actually watch the breath and see if transitioning into this pose has made any kind of difference. Whether the narrative in the mind has changed as well. You can take this one step further, only if you'd like, by bending the knees and staying where you are. So there's no change in the front of the body. We are here. This is your seal. If you want, you simply bend the knees and stay here. No need to pull with the feet towards the head. We're just bending the knees. There's no goal. There's nothing to achieve, no place to go, and hopefully no other place we'd rather be in. So we find the breath, the awareness, everything colliding in this present moment, even when it is uncomfortable, even when we'd rather be somewhere else. If you're bending the knees, let's drop the legs and very mindfully lower down into your crocodile, mindful of the spine. Make a pillow with your hands and drop your right cheek on the pillow so you're facing the left side of the body. Bring the feet together so that the toes touch each other and the heels fall open to the sides. Crocodile. You're facing the left side, maybe change and face the right, placing the left cheek on your hands. Gently lifting the head, place the hands next to your shoulders. And bending the knees, let's slide back again into child pose. But this time, if it's accessible to you, let's keep the knees together. Sitting on the heels, folding onto the thighs. And you can either extend the arms in front of you completely relaxed, or if you want to release the shoulders a little bit more, then extend the arms alongside your body so the hands come right next to your feet. It's your choice. And we drop the forehead onto the mat or onto a prop if we need some elevation. mind surrender here, letting go of any tensions in the body. With every inhale, your belly may gently push against your thighs. With every exhale, we become softer. With every exhale, melting down to the mat, letting go. And if your forehead is touching the mat or a prop, there is a spot in the center of your forehead that is probably in touch with that surface. See if you can bring awareness to that spot in your forehead, almost as if with every inhale you were sending your breath into that spot. With every exhale, we release again, we melt onto the mat, we let go. If your arms are alongside your body, bring them in front of you, extending them all the way out. Fingers spread wide apart, lift your head off the mat. We'll step back into a downward facing dog. So curl the toes here. And on your inhale, very gently lift the hips up. No need to force, no need to go into a deep dog. If you want to sway the hips from side to side and gently bend the knees here, you can do that. If you prefer stillness, you can also just simply hold and breathe. Find what works for you, but always stay with the breath. Whatever it is that we are doing, we find that spot where inside we are with the breath. And we are simply observing. I need to set my phone to airplane mode next time. Beautiful. So from downward facing dog, we will walk our hands towards the feet. Walk the hands back all the way towards the feet. And the feet can be about hip width apart. If you find that for your balance, you prefer to separate them a little bit more, you can do that. And let's take a halfway up with the hands on the shins. Maybe take a moment here to straighten the spine. Very gently, we're not pulling, we're not trying to achieve anything, we're finding release. And then bending the knees, let go, fold onto your thighs. The hands can hang if you like that. If you need a prop, you can also place something in front of you, a book, a cushion, and just place your hands on that if you need a little bit more height. Or if you feel balanced and it doesn't bother you, you can hold on to your elbows. So feel free to bend the knees generously. We're not looking so much for the hamstring stretch. We are looking more for a release in the spine. And let your head be heavy. Let your neck relax. Maybe sway a couple of times from side to side, very slowly, very mindfully. Find your center and stay with your breath. So along the lines of what we were talking about just earlier, who am I? Who is the thinker? I would like to read you this paragraph from Eckhart Tolle, Practicing the Power of Now. The beginning of freedom is the realization that you are not the thinker. The moment you start watching the thinker, a higher level of consciousness becomes activated. You then begin to realize that there's a vast realm of intelligence beyond thought. That thought is only a tiny aspect of that intelligence. You also realize that all the things that truly matter, beauty, love, creativity, joy, inner peace, arise from beyond the mind. You begin to awaken. Let's take 3 more breaths here in your ragdoll pose. On your third exhale, let's drop the hands towards the mat. Maybe separate the feet wider, about mat width apart. A little more if you need to. And we'll drop the hips towards the mat into a deep squat. Let's try and keep the heels on the mat at all times. So play a little bit with the distance between the feet if necessary. And also, again, if needed, feel free to insert props underneath your heels. It can be a rolled blanket, it can be a block, or even under your hips if you are struggling with balance today. We drop the hips heavily. Bring the hands in prayer in front of the heart. Elbows pushing the legs out very gently. And let's straighten the spine without forcing. Very often in yoga we talk about a stretched spine, but in reality, a stretched spine does not exist, right? Our spine is made of curves. And therefore, it's better to just think about lifting up, opening the heart, so that we are not compressing the front side of the body, but we are still respecting the natural curve of the spine. There's no such thing as a flat back. Maybe here take a moment to feel the heaviness of the body, grounding down. Feel the pull of gravity. Maybe you are fighting with it to stay in place. And if you are, see if you can soften a little bit in that fight. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Check with the shoulders. Allow them to relax. Let's add a gentle side stretch. We will drop the right hand on the mat in front of us to the side, a little to the right to keep balance. Let's turn to the left and bring the left arm behind our body. Just drop the hand behind yourself. If you can, and if it doesn't take too much effort, you can walk your left hand behind you and hold on to the right thigh. If that's too much, just drop the hand behind your back. Balance. A slight twist, a little bit of a side stretch. And feel free to play with it and add props if needed. Yes, it can be a bit intense in the legs. Yes. Release the center and let's change the side. So we will now extend the left arm to the side, slightly in front of us, so that it can help you keep your balance. Twist to the right and drop the right arm behind the body, or hold on to the left side, your choice. And one side may feel different than the other. Beautiful. And let's release the center again. And we can just drop down and sit. Extend the legs in front of you. Be mindful of the hip flexors here, and maybe place the hands behind your body. Give your legs a shake, a little shake, or swing from side to side. Really your choice. See what feels best for you to release right now. Getting a little deeper into the hips. Make sure we are sitting on the sit bones. So if we need to remove any flesh, do that. And then we are going to take our right foot and cross the right leg over the left, and see if we can place the right knee right on top of the left. Right knee should be on top of the left knee. And this is enough. So if you feel like this is enough for you, we stay here. If you feel like you want to cross the left leg as well, you can also do that. You can bend the left leg and bring the left foot close to your hips, so that from a frontal view, you will have your knees stacked one on top of the other and the feet open to the sides. If this is too much, we do just half shoelace. We keep the lower leg extended. It is your choice. So we're not gonna fold forward here. We're gonna just sit upright for a moment. You can place the hands on the feet and gently press the feet down. And check with your sit bones. Maybe the right sit bone wants to float a little bit. If it does, maybe swing from side to side. Bring both sit bones down on the mat. Find your grounding. Both sit bones on the mat. It's okay if one feels a little lighter, but let's aim to ground from both sides, so that gently pushing on the feet, we can lift our heart up. Sitting upright, dropping the shoulders. Shoulders are relaxed. We may close the eyes here. You may feel just a gentle stretch in the hips. If you are well grounded and balanced, if you don't feel like you need to compensate, you can let go of the feet, and we will add a wrist stretch. This is optional. You can bring your hands, the back of your hand, against almost your armpit, like the side of your body, but as close to the armpit as possible. So it is the back of the hand, and you can do both sides. Keeping the elbows high. This is a penguin pose. Gently try to open the elbows back. Keeping, yes, the back of the hand against your body. So the back of the hand presses gently inwards towards your body, and keeping it there, we gently push the elbows back. You may feel some release in the wrists. Let go of the wrists and maybe make some circles to release them. And bringing the hands on the mat, let's extend the legs in front for a moment and wrap the legs. Maybe swing them from side to side. And we'll take the other side. So the left leg will now cross over the right. We are looking to place the left knee on top of the right. And if you need to, you can take your hands and kind of remove that calf muscle to the side. It usually happens to me on this side. I have to get it out or it gets caught and in the way. It's normal. We have a body, so it gets in the way. It would be weird if it didn't. And you can stay here with one leg straight, or if you were doing both legs before, you can try both legs on this side and see what happens. Sometimes it's different. Sometimes we don't really feel a difference. Make sure you are well grounded. Maybe bring your hands on the feet and ground down through the sit bones. Find a position that works for you. So if you need to make any subtle adjustments, now's the moment. Once again, if you feel like the left hip is floating a little bit, maybe move a little bit from side to side, bring some heaviness onto the left side as well. Once you're grounded, once you feel both hips on the ground, pushing gently on the feet with the hands, lift your heart and sit upright. If you want to add the wrist stretch, the penguin, you can also do that. So it's completely optional. If you want to stretch the wrists a little bit more, we go back to our penguin with the back of the hands against the side of the body, keeping the spine straight and gently pressing back with the elbows. If we had enough already with the wrists, that's fine as well. We can stay where we are. And you can experiment a little bit with the stretch, so you can maybe press back with the elbows a little bit, or even see what it feels like if you press down with the elbows. So different people may find more of a stretch in different positions. Find what works for you. Releasing just the arms, let's counter that wrist stretch. If you were back there again, let's extend the left arm in front of us with the hand flexed, so the fingers are pointing up, and catching that hand with the right hand. Let's press back on the fingers. Keep pushing through the base of the left hand. And let's change to the other one. Right arm in front, hand is flexed, push through the base of the right hand, and catching the fingers, press them back. Let's release the hands and release the legs, unwrapping the legs, and maybe shaking or swinging them from side to side, your choice. We'll prepare for butterfly now, and I'm going to give you two options. You take the one that you prefer. We're going to bring the soles of the feet in front of us together. So for butterfly, the feet don't need to be very close to the body. They can be more of like a diamond shape. And I would like you to choose the option that you resonate most with today. So you can either fold forward onto the legs and kind of let go there, or if you feel like you want a little bit more of an opening, you can also lay back. So you can lay down. You can even use a pillow or a bolster under your back, or you can fold forward. Pick the one that you like, the one that you feel like it's gonna be best for you today. So you can find, if you're using a pillow, you can place it vertically so that you can have the same support for your head and your body. If you're folding forward, you can also use props if you're folding forward and place them on your feet and kind of hold on to them. So either way, if you're falling forward, inhale here and then fall forward and let go there. And if you're laying back, prepare your setup. Make sure you are comfortable, lay back, and relax the legs entirely. So you allow the knees to fall open to the sides. For some people, this may be too much. You may feel a lot of pressure. If that is the case, you can place blocks or support under the knees. If you're laying on your back, your hands can be extended alongside your body. They can be on your belly. Or if you want even more opening, if you want to stretch the front side of the body, you could even bring them overhead. So it's completely your choice. You have total freedom into how you want to approach this pose today. Wherever it is that you are in the pose, come back to the breath. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. And find your presence in this moment. Maybe also find what presence means to you. How do I connect with this moment? Now, you can see patterns in the mind. You can find that there are certain triggers that distract you. There are certain recurrent thoughts that come again and again. See if you can find distance from those thoughts. If you can stand in a neutral position. If you can really see the thinker. Who is the thinker? And who am I? Separate from the thinker. If you are laying down, stay where you are. And maybe if you're using props under your back, See if you can remove them to the side. And if you're folding forward, then gently roll yourself up and come all the way down to laying. And let's gently bring the knees in to meet each other. And then hug the knees to the chest. If your legs are big high, and lift the forehead to meet the legs. Release the head. And place the feet on the mat, about mat width apart. We can extend the arms to the sides. And here we will drop the left knee in. So the feet are mat width apart. And we will drop just the left knee in first. All the way to the mat. As much as we can. Maybe it doesn't touch the mat, and that's okay. And then let's drop the right knee out to the side as well. We can stay here, or if you feel like it, you can take your right foot and place it on the left knee and add some weight to that leg. It's your choice entirely. Both shoulders are on the mat, and if it's comfortable for your neck, you can look over to the left. Very gentle, gentle twist. If the right foot is on the left knee, then release that leg. Both feet are on the mat, and we will gently lift the knees back up again. And switch sides. So we'll drop the right knee in as much as we can. And then let's drop the left. And if we want, we can bring the left foot on the right knee. Add some weight. And if it's comfortable, look over to the right. If the left foot is on the right leg, then release. Let's bring the knees up. Head comes back to center and give the knees one last hug. If you like, lift the forehead. And then release into your Shavasana. Extending the legs in front of you, toes fall open to the sides. Palms of the hands facing up by the sides of the body. And maybe lift the chest a little bit off the mat and gently roll the shoulders down. Make sure that we are open, that we relax, and there's no compression in the front side of the body. And stay with the breath. Allow the body to fall into a deep state of relaxation. There's no tension left anywhere. Let's take a deep inhale through the nose. Deep, deep inhale. And exhale through the mouth. Letting go. Once again, inhale. And exhale. And I will leave you with the words of Eckhart Tolle once again. The moment that judgment stops through acceptance of what is, you are free of the mind. You have made room for love, for joy, for peace. And slowly begin to bring awareness back inside your body. Wiggle your fingers and toes, maybe make circles, any movements that wake you up. Bring the feet together, raise the arms above your head, interlace the fingers and stretch, stretch, stretch. And exhale, release. Bend the knees and roll to the right side on your mat. Whenever you are ready, using the hands, gently prop yourself up into a seated position. Take your time, there's no hurry. Legs are crossed, spine straight, and hands on your knees or Chimudra. Close your eyes and take a few more breaths here. And see what it feels like inside. What does your breath feel like now compared to the beginning of the class? Maybe the breath is slower, deeper. Maybe your mind is a more quiet place right now. Maybe we have found a little bit of presence. Chanting Om. Inhale. Slowly open your eyes. Bring the hands to heart. Thank you for practicing with me. I hope that you enjoyed. I hope that you found a little presence, that you will have a nice rest of your Friday. You're feeling it in the hips. A nice rest of your Friday, a very nice weekend, and that the rest of the lockdown and pandemic will be a little bit easier to deal with. Thank you, guys.